Hi, and welcome to Friday Reads, where I tell you what I'm reading this weekend and review my last week's pick. This weekend, I am reading a couple different things. First is American Psycho by Bret, Easton, Ellis. I am reading this book for the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge. The task is read a book published the year you were born. So 1991 was the year of Erin and also American Psycho. So I decided to pick this one up because I haven't seen the movie, I've been meaning to read the book, and it's really strange so far. There's a lot of drugs and objectification of women, and we're getting into sociopathic tendencies by the main character. So it's interesting. It's not what I was expecting, so we'll see how that continues to go. So that's my first Friday Reads. My other Friday Reads is actually an audiobook, and I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks. I like the physical book, I like reading. I'm just not a big audiobook person, but I decided to listen to Tina Fey's Bossy Pants on audio. And I listened to Amy Poehler's Yes Please, I guess this summer in July, and I actually really enjoyed listening to that on audio. And I've been meaning to pick up Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, and it just hasn't been something that I've prioritized. And then I saw it as an audiobook option from the library. And I thought, you know what, let's do it. So I started that. It's good so far. Tina Fey reads it. She's really funny, so I'm enjoying that. So those are my Friday Reads this week. My review this week is going back a couple Friday Reads ago to The Bazaar of Bad Dreams by Stephen King. This is Stephen King's short story collection, and it was published, I think, last year in 2015, and I went back and forth on it. There were some stories that I absolutely loved that I would read big fat Stephen King novels of. There was one about a really creepy little boy who shows up around this one guy and causes harm and destruction and death and things like that. There is one about a guy that writes obituaries that actually kill people. And there's one about a person eating car, which is something that Stephen King is all too familiar with and from his other writings. And those stories I really loved. I just got super into the setting. I really enjoyed the characters. It had that Stephen King just fabulousness. There were some other pieces of writing in The Bazaar of Bad Dreams that I wasn't such a fan of. There were a couple poems, and I just am not a big poetry person, and it was just unexpected and not super satisfying. There were a couple of other stories that I didn't connect with and just thought were kind of boring. I would be interested in a couple weeks or months to go back and read some of those stories I was less engaged with and see if I didn't love them the first time because I was just trying to get through this collection, or because some of the other stories were just so fantastic that they were paled in comparison. So maybe I'll revisit some of those stories. I don't know. I love Stephen King still, so I did enjoy The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, but it wasn't necessarily my favorite. So that's all I have for this week's Friday Reads. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Litsy at Game and Read. You can also check out the blog where we have all our videos, our podcast episodes, book reviews. That is all at